my story started off yoga with my own phobia, which is called nosophobia. It's a kind of anxiety where you fear of contracting cancer. Nothing has changed, but my mindset had changed. And all that fear and anxieties with which I was living started reducing. You need to feel what connects the best with you.
Yoga teachers, yoga therapists out there, what one piece of advice would you give them?
First of all, you should have clarity in your mind what is your purpose in life and what you are doing, why you are doing it. Either is it just for fame and money, or do you really want to do something good for others and help them? So you should be very clear about it. Be yourself, be authentically you. Let people like you for who you are, not for being like somebody else. It is your journey. Be you.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of Practice Unlocked. Today we have a special episode where I have Ms. Shabana Safdari here. Hello, Shabana.
Hello, Azhar.
Thank you so much for coming on today. So Shabana is a wellness coach. She is a yoga therapist and a sound healer. So I'm actually very excited to talk to her. This is a special podcast. This is very different than what we're used to. Typically, we're usually talking to physicians on how they run their practices. In this one, we've taken a different approach where we're going to be talking about, as a yoga instructor living in India, how she's able to expand her business worldwide, having clients in different countries. Along with that, the techniques she's using, and also how she's able to help corporations as well. But you know what? My introduction to her, it won't do any justice. I would love, Shabana ji, for you to kind of introduce yourself, what you do, because I know you work in many facets within wellness.
Thank you for having me here, Azhar. And I'm grateful to all the listeners who are listening right now and who will be listening to this podcast in future.
No, fantastic.
So, I'm Shabana Safdari, founder of Yoga with Shabana. I'm a yoga therapist, sound and breathwork facilitator, and I'm also a meditation teacher. And I'm on this journey of teaching and practicing yoga since almost 10 years now, since 2015.
Oh, wow. What made you want to get into yoga and this whole industry as a whole?
So my story started off yoga with my own illness, a kind of phobia, which is called nosophobia. It's a kind of anxiety where you feel fear of contracting cancer.
Okay.
And in 2014, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And that was the time, because of breast cancer being commonly known as a genetic cancer which can pass on to the next generations, I had developed nosophobia, and I had so much of anxiety and fear of contracting cancer and dying of cancer. To the extent that I even considered getting a preempt surgery done to just prevent myself from getting cancer. But that's when my husband suggested not to go for the genetic test or such surgeries and take a leap of faith and let God decide my destiny. So I took the leap of faith. I didn't go ahead with the genetic test or any surgery. But that was the moment when I decided that I'm going to give the right environment to my body to thrive in full health. And that's when my transformation began. And I joined a yoga class as a student. And my teachers saw the potential in me on the very first day of my yoga class. And after the class, he came to me and suggested that you must go for the yoga teacher training. You are naturally flexible and meant to be a yoga teacher.
Oh, that's fantastic. And then here you are, 15 years later.
Thank you. Yes, 10 years later.
Oh, 10
exactly
years later.
2015 to 2025. Yes.
Oh, wow. How long does it, what's the time that it takes to be a yoga instructor or yoga therapist?
So for being a yoga instructor, it can take only a 1 month's time, depending what kind of training you're opting for. It can be a 1 full month of training where you go to the institute, stay there, and you can finish off the course in 1 month, which is normally known as a 200 hours TTC, teachers training course.
Hmm.
And for yoga therapy, it can take you somewhere between 1.5 to 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Because
So,
first,
so
yes,
you're
you're
a therapist rather than just an instructor.
yes. So there's a big
Wow.
difference. People are always confused between an instructor and a therapist.
Hmm.
Instructors work with groups. They can also work with one-on-ones, but normally what they do is they teach common yoga, which is applicable for everybody who comes to a yoga studio and want to do a group practice, which can be for positive health,
Hmm.
de-stressing themselves and all that. But when it comes to therapy, a therapist works not only at the physical level, but mental, emotional, and spiritual level also, and curates the therapy class specific to the student's requirement.
Interesting.
And they also work on counseling the student. So, yes, don't mind, I'll be using the word student. I won't call them clients because I don't do transactions, I build connections.
Oh,
So I never
fantastic.
call my students clients.
Uh, when it comes to your students, I'm sure you've seen many, many miracles happen in terms of their health. I would love to kind of explore what it's done to you personally, like in terms of yoga and all the other techniques that you teach. How has it impacted you personally? And then after that, I would love to I would love to hear some stories of students changing their lives around, certain things that ailments that they have that they don't have anymore, and also what age groups do you work with as well?
Okay. So, first of all, as I joined a yoga class as a student, and immediately within just 2 weeks, I started noticing my migraine frequencies started reducing.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier, I used to have migraines every week, and it used to last 2 days completely in the bed, not able to get up also. And as I started growing as a student, within 2 weeks, the frequencies reduced, and I also started feeling happy from within. Nothing has changed, but my mindset had changed.
Oh,
And
okay.
all that fear and anxieties with which I was living started reducing.
And how long does that take to make that transition happen, actually, from having frequent migraines to now it's completely gone, you're much happier, things like that?
It can happen somewhere between 1 month to 6 months also. It depends how much dedicated you are to your practice.
Hmm.
Secondly, for migraines, there are multiple triggers. For everybody, it's a different trigger. It can be sometimes harsh sunlight, or it can be loud sound, or a late night, sleepless night. So for every body is different, and for every person, the reason of migraine is different. The triggers are different. So
Hmm.
it depends how you bring about those lifestyle changes along with incorporating the yogic practices. And definitely, for sure, what it does to everybody is the frequency starts reducing. And even the attack is not that severe compared to the earlier times when you bring about the lifestyle changes and along with that you incorporate yogic practices.
Oh, wow. Is there different types of yoga that people can learn? Because I know in, like, let's say martial arts, there's different types of martial arts practices you can learn. Is it the same in yoga itself?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
In West, normally when people talk about yoga, they think it's physical movement, and
Mm-hmm.
doing postures or the asanas is what doing yoga is, or maybe meditation. Or sometimes people consider yoga as physical movements and meditation as a completely different practice. But yoga itself has got 8 different limbs, and meditation is one of those 8 limbs. And pranayama, which is in the West normally called as breathwork, is one of the second limbs of the 8 limbs. And asanas, which are the physical postures, is another limb. So that is the third limb. So there are 8 different limbs, and it shows you how to bring about the lifestyle changes, how you conduct yourself in the society. These are also the limbs of yoga. And the different types of practices that you asked me about, so it can be the style of practicing. It can be hatha yoga, which is a slow paced practice where you're holding the asanas for a longer duration. It can be vinyasa, where you keep moving from one asana to another constantly, and it's a flow, continuous. So people who wants to do something very intense, who are very young and they want to do a very energetic flow, they all prefer doing a lot of vinyasas, and that is a part of Ashtanga yoga, which again requires a lot of energy. Whereas hatha yoga practices are more longer sustainable, with even with the change of your age and all, it does not change. You can easily do it. Whereas Ashtanga and Vinyasas and all are more preferred by people who are more younger in their 20s and 30s. Because as you age, then you want to move towards more slower practices, and you want to make yourself feel more calmer, connected to yourself and all. Then you're not aiming for that intensity and all that. So it changes, and also it depends from a person to person. It's not that there is one size which fits everyone. It's
Mm-hmm.
You need to feel what connects the best with you.
Fantastic. And which one do you specialize in, especially?
I specialize in hatha yoga, and my yoga therapy is also based on hatha yoga principles only. So here I make people do slower movements, holding them longer durations, and also teaching them different variations. So if a person is not able to do certain positions in seated position, I'll have an option for them to either do it lying down on the bed, or they can use a chair as a prop and they can do it. So that's my yoga therapy is completely based on hatha yoga.
Amazing. Now, I know besides hatha yoga, as I know you're a sound therapist as well. So can you go into a little bit detail about, is that an add-on to your practice that you currently do, or how is that incorporated in your practice, and exactly what is sound therapy as well?
Okay, so let's first try to understand what it is, the sound therapy or the sound healing is. People are quite not much aware about it. So whenever I talk about my sound healing, they are like, "What is that? We have never heard about it." So let me tell you first what it is. So our bodies and our minds are constantly vibrating. So when I talk about our body, all the different parts are always vibrating. And when we talk about our mind, our thoughts are vibrating. So if we think of it from the thoughts point of view, when we are in a positive state of mind, we are vibrating on a higher frequency. And if we are in a negative mindset, we are vibrating on a lower frequency. And when we are in a higher frequency, high vibrational frequencies, we attract all the positive things in our life. That is law of attraction.
Yep.
And that is exactly what happens in sound healing. As we are vibratory beings, it's not only that our body and mind is vibrating, but everything around you, even the room right now or the chair you're sitting, though it's solid, but it's vibrating. So, through different frequencies, tones, sound instruments, musical instruments, we try to increase the vibrational frequency of a person. And that leads to calmer nervous system, attracting whatever you desire in your life, reaching a deep state of relaxation. Why? Because sound therapy works on brain entrainment. It changes the brain waves. So you're normally in a beta state where you're constantly thinking or you're acting, very active working and all. But when you move to sound therapy and you just listen to different sounds, it works changing the brain waves to, it can go to delta, where you are in a deep state. It can take you to theta, where you can be in a meditative state. So again, it's very beneficial even for those people who always think, no, I cannot meditate. I cannot sit in one place. I cannot close my eyes because I have a monkey mind.
Yep.
So for them, sound is like a reset button where you are not doing anything, but the sounds are doing everything. You just have to receive them.
That's great because I know in the West, in terms of having the term ADD or ADHD,
Yes.
which is attention deficit, disorder. For those, I would assume that rather than just sitting in yoga, a sound therapy would be very beneficial for them.
Yes.
Correct? Okay.
So what happens here, Azhar, is the sounds, the vibrations, they penetrate deep into your body, and it goes into your bones, your tissues, and your cells. So you get a deep cellular level of healing from within. And also the relaxation and calmness is at the brain and the mind level. So you feel very calm, very relaxed, rejuvenated, recharged when you come out of the sound bath or a sound healing.
Sound bath. What is that?
So there's a difference in the offerings. So sound bath is where it can be given either to one person or a group of people who just wants to experience different sounds and de-stress themselves and rejuvenate themselves for an experience, just like the way a person goes for a massage to feel good, to
Hmm.
relax, de-stress. So sound baths are given for groups like that. And when I talk about sound healing, it works on one-on-one. So sound healing can be either given for release from a chronic pain or for an emotional release, because a lot of people who hold a lot of traumas in their life,
Hmm.
and a lot of pent up emotions, repressed emotions. Sounds are very powerful through vibrations. They help to release all these pent up emotions. So many times in those healing sessions, a person can even go to a state of catharsis. Catharsis is a release of emotions which are pent up inside. So it can be a person starts crying during the session, or they go in that deep state and they see those things which are holding them or which they have resilience towards, and they start releasing them. And so
Wow.
when they come out of the session, they feel very light, very calmer.
Oh, wow. I've seen that in movies and shows, but I'm sure you've experienced that in real life. I would love to see some examples of, client examples of an ailment that they had or an issue that they had or something they were holding on to. And through your therapy, they were able to release all that or just come out a lot more
Exactly.
fresher, lighter,
Yes.
things like that.
And it not only works on emotional release, it also works on shifts in the body. So, for example, people hold a lot of stress in the neck muscles and their shoulders, and that pains a lot for them, especially towards the end of the day when they have a very stressful day. So these type of sound baths or sound healings can lead to muscular shifts. So the pain or the spasm that you're holding in one particular part of your body, it starts shifting from that and it starts releasing out from your body, and it reduces your pain, and definitely it improves your sleep very well. Most of the people in sound baths or sound healing sessions, they just drift off to sleep in the first 10 minutes, or sometimes entire session they are completely in deep sleep state, and where they can have a lot of visuals also, they see a lot of imaginations, they sometimes even meet their loved ones whom they have lost. So everybody has a different experience when they go so much deep inside it.
Please do share, someone that you've worked with that have had a outburst of joy or just relaxation, things like that.
Yes.
Uh,
So I have worked with people and given them healings where they have felt that muscular shifts in their body, And when they came to the session, they were like, we have full control over our body. Nobody can move our body, without voluntary action. And when they were in the sound healing, the arm fully turned completely on its own down without any control over the arm, because that muscular shift was happening. He was under a lot of stress, and that stress was giving him a lot of shoulder pain. And that pain started releasing and it started shifting. He could literally feel it going down, further down. And finally, when it went near the fingers, his arm completely turned down. From palm upwards, it turned downwards.
Interesting.
And for somebody else who was going through an emotional release, I noticed the facial expressions changed. And it was almost like in a deep state of where the person is wanting to cry and release what all she was holding inside.
Oh, wow.
So there are a lot of body signals or the movements, the twitches that we can notice as a healer, and we can understand what they are going through, and we can then help them further on that journey of healing.
Now, all these classes happen in your studio, or I know you work. I mean, living in India, I know you work with people all around the world. So how does that work as well? And also, not only in yoga, but also in sound therapy.
So what I have done is I've integrated yoga therapy with breathwork, which is actually pranayama in traditional word in India, along with the sound healing therapy. So I've curated a special program called Rest Reset Method. In this, I integrate all three together for giving healing to people or to help professionals release their stress, sleep better, and recover from burnout. So, as you ask me, how do I help people? Before COVID, I used to work offline. I used to have a yoga studio and I used to conduct classes over there. I used to take one on one therapy sessions and all. But after COVID, as I moved online, especially during the lockdown, I started realizing that I was not limited only to Bangalore, my city. I could reach out anybody whom I desire in the world, or who desires to work with me, or who is looking for somebody who can help them on the healing journey. So, COVID for me was a blessing, and my whole way of working changed because of COVID and moving online. And now I work extensively with people across the globe, uh, giving them one-on-one yoga therapy, or it can be general yoga for just well-being and positive health. And I also offer sound baths and sound healing sessions through my online platform.
Oh, wow. So yoga, I've seen people do online, where the client is there and you're able to instruct them, uh, through online, through Zoom or different platforms. But when it comes to sound therapy, that's pretty interesting. How does that work, being online and being virtual, but able to send those kind of waves towards the your students?
Yes. So what I have done is I specially went for another sound healing course recently to a teacher who specializes in integrating tech along with sound healing, and how we can give them a very similar kind of an experience even on a virtual session, and we can help them on the healing journey.
Oh, wow.
And that's where I learned on a special course of 10 days of one-on-one learnings. And I learned how to integrate tech along with my offerings and help people across the globe to receive this kind of healings. Because for my on-site sessions, I do a lot of corporate programs, team outings, and yoga retreats, and those are also offered at the same time online also. So if there's some corporate which is not in India or in Bangalore, I do offer them online sessions.
Oh, wow. I do know that in the West, a lot of corporations do incorporate wellness within their team of employees just for their well-being. In addition to that, also they get discounts on their personal insurances, things like that. Um, have you seen that in your experience as well? The corporations that you work with, that they obviously do it for their employees, their productivity, their well-being, but also is any savings on the corporate end that they can have in order to hire you? Like what's the benefit of them hiring you directly?
So for them, the benefit of hiring me is, of course, everybody wants to have a work culture where people are healthy and happy, which is very important.
Mhm.
Because an employee who is feeling positive and they love their work, what they are doing, and the type of culture where they are integrated with each other, working together as a team with positivity, which is very important. And at the same time, retaining those employees, not having absenteeism and all that, that's where I step in because I help them to reduce their stress levels. I help them through team building activities and all to work together and create a more positive environment. Many times I offer them meditations and all, which helps in building compassion towards your co-workers, which is very important. Because what happens is in corporate culture, there is a lot of competition,
Yes.
and everybody wants to grow more faster than the other person. So instead of having that kind of attitude towards your co-workers, when we develop compassion towards others and understand their problems or issues or offer help to them, we can build a more positive work culture.
Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense.
Yes.
And in terms of uh, you know, besides just corporates as well, individuals can take your classes as well. Do you have group sessions, or you do one-on-one mainly? What's your preference as well?
Yeah, so being a therapist, I have to work one on ones, especially when somebody comes to me for a therapy. I also offer group classes, but right now I'm focusing more on one on one therapies or one on one working with the executives. But I'm very soon coming up with a special program that will be a special offering for the professionals. At the end of the day, they can de-stress themselves with my specially integrated signature program, the rest reset method, where I'll be offering group classes to the professionals at the end of the day, where they can release all the pains and aches in their body, all the stress that they are holding in their body and the mind, and de-stress them with yoga therapy, with breath work, and with sound healing,
Yeah, amazing.
so that they can sleep better.
That's fantastic. So I know we've talked a lot about the benefits of yoga, how you do yoga, how you conduct your classes. But at Practice Unlocked, usually what I would like to do is I want to see how other professionals just like you are able to replicate your model for themselves and do better in life. I'm sure it took a lot of trials and tribulations for you to figure out a model where you could do it online and help people all over the world. But I would love for you to share your knowledge with other yoga therapists out there that may want to kind of mimic the model that you have and how successfully you've built your model.
So, as far as I talk about my model, first of all, Azhar, I always try to grow organically,
Hmm.
never with paid promotions or anything. I because I always felt I wanted to stay connected with my purpose, which was to dedicate my life in helping others live more happier and healthier lives, and the transformation which yoga brought about in my life, giving me a purpose in life, removing all the fears and anxieties. That's what I always wanted to pass on to others. So, whatever I do, however I want to grow, I always keep my purpose in my mind while working towards my next goals. And my advice would be always stay authentic and consistent.
Hmm.
And always don't measure your success in terms of followers on social media, or in terms of how much you have achieved in a shorter span of time. Because even a slow progress is a progress. And when you try to grow authentically, organically, it takes time, but it's always very solid. Because if I tell about myself, I don't have to advertise myself or market myself on social media. It's always my students who refer me to others, and it's been 10 years, and that's how my work spreads through my students.
That's fantastic.
But at the same time, what I realized is it's very important for a good teacher to always build a personal brand. Because what happens is most of the times the teachers are not there on social media. They might be doing really good, they might be having a very in-depth knowledge, but they are not available on the social media. And people just see the numbers of followers and they just start thinking that, okay, this teacher must be very good because they have these many millions of followers. But that's not always the truth, you know. So it is important, as a good authentic teacher, you have to have your social media presence, because your visibility will be there. Then only the people who are actually looking for a teacher like that will be able to connect with them.
Fantastic. Now, uh, let's say that I know a lot of people, like around the country. Let's say if they're struggling, and they're looking for a a career, for themselves. They sometimes, some people don't fit the 9 to 5 mold. They feel out of place, and many times. Uh, do you suggest that taking yoga as a career? Would that be beneficial for them? What's the benefits you've seen, and is it financially beneficial to them as well, or it is an industry where you're not really earning as much?
So, first of all, I have seen so many corporates who have left their jobs because there's always a void somewhere, or they feel we don't live a life full of purpose. We are just doing that 9 to 5 job, nothing beyond that. And that is not giving them satisfaction in life, because there is no kind of purpose or a positive intention. You're just, earning because you have to run your family and all. So a lot of corporates, they leave their jobs and they opt for yoga training and they become yoga teachers. Now it depends on at which phase of your life you are in. If you're a family person, you cannot just leave your 9 to 5 job and take up yoga as a career. But if you're a youngster who is still, single and looking at different career options, and you're open to explore, then definitely yoga is a very good career to leave a 9 to 5 job and switch to a yoga teacher training and start teaching. If you're in that phase of your life where you have a family to support, then in that case, I would suggest that definitely you should go for a training and you should start taking weekend classes, or you can take evening class at the end of the day when you are done with your work, and you offer a class in a studio, or you can take online if you're confident enough. And then from there, slowly gradually you start growing it, and as you grow, then you are also more confident that, okay, I am able to now support my family with this income, and I can leave that job and I can full time move to a yoga teaching course business.
Are they able to make the kind of corporate money that they used to? Because I know, I'm sure it's a lot more fulfilling and things like that to pursue, yoga as a business. But in terms of, just equivalent or more money than a corporate job, are they able to do that?
So first of all, yoga is a very sacred word. When it we associate the word business with it, it doesn't sound good, but that's what the reality has become these days. Because yoga is not a business; it is a sacred practice, and which you pass on to the next generation, and you help people heal. But now, as we are talking in terms of business, I would say that you can be in two categories. You can be either a freelancer, a service provider kind of a teacher, or or you might be a business person who is growing the business by conducting different programs, by growing up their own team, hiring different teachers, collaborating with different people, and growing your business and doing a yoga business. And definitely, as you grow, you can definitely make good amount of money if you're working towards it with an attitude of a business.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the end, you should not forget your purpose in life, which is very important, whatsoever you are doing.
Of
And
course.
yeah, so one can grow as a yoga teacher and making it a business. But here, the most important thing, which is to position yourself correctly in the market,
Mm-hmm.
to build your own personal brand. All these things play a very important role. Earlier, during my time, 10 years back, when we used to go for yoga teacher training, we were only taught how to do different yoga poses, or how to do the meditations or the breathing practices, and which practice helps to heal what kind of disorder. Now things have changed. When a person goes for a yoga teacher training, because the role of yoga teacher is extended now, they have become content creators, they have become social media marketers, they have to wear different hats. And that's why in a teacher's training course, they also teach them how to position themselves, how to market themselves,
Oh, good.
how to create the social media content which will sell, what are the trends that they should follow. And that helps them to grow very fast.
Amazing. Oh, so the yoga, those classes do incorporate these teachings as well of how to set up your own studio or
Yes,
how to get conduct
yes,
classes. Oh, it's fantastic.
absolutely.
Any recommendations of schools? Being in India, I'm sure you know a lot of schools in India in itself. Do you have any schools that you recommend within India and maybe even outside of India that you're aware of?
Within India, I would always recommend three schools for sure. One is S. Vyasa, Swami Vivekananda Yoga University, Anusandhan, which is in Bangalore. And I have done my yoga instructor's course as well as my yoga therapy course from Swami Vivekananda Yoga Center. And it's got their presence in US also. And it's a very renowned university, and they do a lot of research, and they also offer PhD courses where people come and do a PhD on different offerings of yoga practices, and they see how it helps and benefits people. So a lot of research is done from where I have done my courses, and I always love to have a fusion of ancient wisdom along with science-backed practices,
Mm-hmm.
and this is where it works the best, because I'm not only teaching something which is mentioned in the ancient texts, but at the same time, I know that it's backed by modern science. The other institute which I would like to recommend is Yoga Point, which is in Nasik in India. And that's a very, very authentic place. I have done my meditation teachers training course from there. And anybody who is looking for authentic teachers, they should consider going there, because the meditation course which I didn't only help me to learn how to meditate for myself or to teach others how to meditate, but it brought about a full lifestyle change for me. The assignments were such where a person starts working on different levels, like connecting to the earth, walking barefoot, those kind of assignments. So it brings about a transformation in a student. They don't only teach you a course, but they bring about transformation in a student as a person in your day-to-day life.
Amazing.
And internationally, if you ask me, my pranayama or the breathwork teachers are in US Yoga Education College. My teacher's name is. I have three teachers who together integrate this pranayama lessons and teachings, and their name is Eddie Stern, who lives in New York and has got his studio and all on Broome Street in New York. And my other teacher is Robert Moses. He's in some other part of US. And the third teacher is Harswardhan Zaveri, who lives in India. And I have learned all my breath work from them. Right now, also, I'm pursuing my second level of breathwork, pranayama basically. Pranayama is different and breathwork is different because breathwork practices are many times done through the mouth directly and all. And pranayama practices are the traditional practices which were mentioned in the ancient texts. And that is exactly what they are teaching us, along with the anatomy and the physiology of science and how each breathing practice, which was mentioned in the ancient texts, how it is working on our body along, and understanding it from the science point of view. So it's a very wholesome course, which I would highly recommend to anybody who is really interested in learning the traditional way of breathing.
Amazing. Now, this is fantastic because the reason I ask these questions, it's a little personal for me, because I remember when I was born in India. I came here when I was 10 years old, and I know that prior to coming here, my mother needed a skill that she needed to pick up before we moved to America, so she could earn day one, when she landed. And there are certain options that were given to her, and one of them was a beauty course. That, hey, become a cosmetologist. At least once you reach America, you'll find yourself a job day one. Um, you know, but I know not everyone can be a cosmetologist. It takes a little bit longer. You have to, the studies uh, take long, and also it has to be a personal interest. Um, so in terms of for yoga, I see that as a yoga therapist or a yoga instructor. That may be a good way for someone that is looking to kind of start transitioning a career, or a side gig or a side hustle as well, or transition to full-time work. You know, it seems like it may be a viable option for them to go that route, yeah, and find fulfillment and things like that, and do something that is interesting to them.
Absolutely. But here, one thing I would like to add in the teacher's part, one more thing about the sound healing.
Hmm.
We
Please.
missed that part.
Hmm.
So my teacher, Adnan Vahanvati, his website is Unlock Ease, and he lives in the mountains in India in the north, close to Nainital. And he's one of the really authentic, good teacher that I have come across to learn sound healing because he teaches from the scientific point of view and
Oh
he
wow.
emphasizes a lot on science, how the different sounds are helping in healing the body and completely backed by science and making you understand how this will help, how which frequency works on which body part or how it works on your mind. And he is one of those teachers who teaches how to integrate tech because I did my first course and then I wanted to learn more in depth and I inquired to a lot of teachers and he was the only teacher whom was interested in teaching me how to integrate tech and offer sound healing.
Can you repeat that email address again? It's www dot
His website is Unlock Ease.
just unc.
Unlock Ease with yes,
Okay,
UNLOCK. Unlock Ease. He's a
and ease
life
is
coach also, and yes,
so it's unlock ease
sound
sorry,
yeah.
ease.com. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So anybody can look up for him, and he has played a very big role in helping me not only learn sound healing, but also to start thinking in terms of how to position myself as a facilitator of sound, meditation, pranayama, and a yoga therapist. How to build my personal brand, how to bring about the systems and processes. Because if I want to scale up my work, I need to integrate all those things together, which I was not doing up till now. And because of that, I had reached a point where I was not left with any bandwidth. As I said, I majorly work one on one, but he showed me how to bring about changes and how to have the right systems and processes which will help me to scale up at the same time to ease a little bit and have more time for myself and start working on offering different ways where I can also earn passive income. I don't have to keep working all the times or I don't earn only when I'm taking a class.
Now, in terms of for a course, from him, do you need to be a yoga teacher or a yoga therapist in order to go into sound healing? Or you don't need any of the yoga background. You could just go directly into sound healing as well.
You can directly go into sound healing as well.
I
But there
see.
is a deep connection of yoga along with sound healing, because then you have more in-depth understanding of the chakras and all, which are the energy centers in our body, and the different notes of sound healing are very much correlated with the chakras and their locations and how it helps to heal. So for me, especially being a yoga therapist, that is what exactly I was looking for, because I didn't wanted to offer sound healing as a one more modality of my offerings,
Hmm.
but I wanted to integrate everything together as a one wholesome offering. And that's exactly what I got to learn from him.
Amazing. Um, in terms of, so I know we're coming, it's already been 45 minutes of us speaking. Um, you know, in terms of as a closing reflection, if you had to leave, one piece of advice for someone that is listening, give me actually two pieces of advice. One from for for your students or for potential students in the future, and then also give one piece of advice to other yoga instructors and teachers and therapists out there as well.
Okay, so first of all, for the listeners, I would say treat your body as a temple. Self care is very important. We can change our houses, our cars in our lifespan, but we cannot change our body. We have got only one body, and it is up to us how we take care of it. And for that, don't compromise on your wellness. Compromise on socializing, or compromise on parting less,
Oh, I
or
can't do
other
that.
things, but don't. So that's exactly, don't compromise on your sleep, don't compromise on your wellness, on your body movement, on your breathing, on your meditation and all that. Your well-being is very, very important, because when you are healthy, you are taking care of a family also, and you're also presenting yourself very well at work, full of enthusiasm, focus and clarity. So
Amazing.
don't neglect your health, because what happens is, unfortunately, people start becoming serious about their health only when they come up with some major health issue. So don't wait for that day to come. Today is the right time. If when you are hearing this and listening to this podcast, take a step forward and start taking care of yourself, of your mind and your body.
Amazing.
It's a gift
Now,
from God.
I love that. Now, thank you for that. So that was for your students out there. Now, in terms of for other yoga teachers, yoga therapists out there, what one piece of advice would you give them?
First of all, you should have clarity in your mind. What is your purpose in life? And what you are doing, why you are doing it. Either is it just for fame and money, or do you really want to do something good for others and help them? So you should be very clear about it. It's not necessary that because you are a yoga teacher, you are doing it only for helping others. You might be having different purpose of doing what you are doing. So once you get that clarity, it's not that by doing just one yoga course or two yoga courses, you're good to go for lifetime. Learning is a never ending journey. In my 10 years, I am always teaching and side by side learning and deepening my knowledge. Because when we have a deep knowledge, that's when we can help others. So don't give up on learning after one or two courses. Keep learning, be a student of life, and whatever you learn, keep sharing with others. Because knowledge is always meant to be shared. It multifolds when you share it with others. Because how much ever you share, you gain much more than that.
Very nice.
And give a lot of importance to building on your own brand, your visibility, but with purpose and authenticity, which is very important. Be yourself, be authentically you. Let people like you for who you are, not for being like somebody else. It is your journey. Be you.
I love that. Well, Shabanaji, thank you. Thank you so much. I've taken a lot of your time already. Thank you for everything. This podcast was very insightful, very informative. We got to learn two sides of things, one as a teacher, and also practical, advices for your students, and especially
Thank you so much,
uh,
Azhar, for having me. I hope I can inspire people to take up yoga as a teaching or as a practice through this podcast.
I 100% agree. I started yoga 3 years ago, and it's been very, very, very beneficial for me. I could tell you that. Having ankylosing spondylitis, I had some struggles, with my body and the stiffness that I had. But through yoga, I see the difference it makes in day-to-day lives and just pure happiness in its own. So I could say that
Absolutely.
yoga has changed my perspective on a lot of things. I know it has for my family as well, and I'm sure for a lot of your students it has as well. So perfect.
Thank you so much. So, as you said, happiness also. So, that is what yoga teaches us. Happiness lies within. Stop looking
No,
outside in materialistic things and relationships. It is there
100%.
deep, there inside you only.
I love that. With that, we'll bring this podcast to a close. Thank you so much again, Shabanaji. I hope uh, 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 give you all of praises for what you do and helping others. And thank you for what you
Thank you
do.
so much.
And this was very, very, very informative. Thank you, and bye bye.
Thank you so much and namaste. And deeply
Namaste.
appreciate everyone spending their time to listen to this podcast.